As the 2018 Manning Conference wraps up, Christy Clark, the former Premier of British Columbia, gave her first speech since resigning from politics. During her 30-minute speech, she shared her concern of the financial wealth of the country. I was fortunate enough to get a one-on-one interview with Christy Clark, the former Premier of British Columbia. She talked to me about why it's so important for women to get into politics and why we must respect the Indigenous people. In an exclusive interview with BC's former Premier, Clark said Canada needs to start selling off their natural resources, such as oil, to help boost the country's income, something she is very concerned about.
If we don't get our resources to market, Canada's going to be a very poor country, and we got to change that for people, for another generation of people.
And that was something that you brought up a lot during your speech, is
yes.
how this will be the first generation to leave my generation in a much worse state than
I think so. Well, think about it, right? I mean, think about the billions of dollars in debt that you're going to have to pay. I mean, it's not like, if governments don't look after that now, it's all going to fall on your shoulders. So I worry about that a lot.
Clark said part of that has to do with working with the First Nations people, something she said many might find as strange. During her discussion, Clark talked about her time growing up in Burnaby, BC in the 1980s, when she says the country was going through some hard times. Her father was a teacher and her mother was a stay-at-home mom. Although they were not in poverty, they were still a poor family. She shared stories of how they drank powdered milk because it was cheaper and wouldn't take family trips unless it was easy to get to by car. The second point the former Premier touched on was women's involvement in politics. She said she would like to see half the candidates be women, but not just any woman, have them be successful.
I just think it's really important that women's voices are heard at the table, because I think we bring a different perspective. We don't care about different things, we just bring a different perspective.
And after her speech, Clark stuck around for close to an hour to talk to supporters and even offered advice to some people. She also shared stories from her past and took time to talk to everyone. She also met with Maxine Bernier, who ran last year to be party leader, and told him the future of our country lies on your shoulders. Now, we don't know too much about what is next for Clark now that she's out of politics. She did say that she does miss her role as being Premier of British Columbia. The part she misses the most is dealing with the people and fighting for change. Charlie Cenac, TWIN News, Ottawa.